Kamala Harris just got absolutely wrecked live on Fox News of all places. She's actually kind of swimming in enemy's territory, ready to be asked the hard questions or really just trying to beg people from the right to vote for her. She is trying so hard. I mean, I would not be surprised if she'd be willing to do things to get ahead in the voter base. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. We are going to be reacting to the best moments of that interview and showing you why Kamala is as stupid as we already knew. By the way, thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. Make sure you like today's video, subscribe to my channel. I post 2 new videos every single day, and let's get into it.
How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a.
I'm sure you're glad that he raised that issue, and that's probably your biggest and most strong point of criticism, is that you don't care about the border.
A topic of discussion that people want to rightly have.
Filibustering, her just taking up the time. Ugh.
And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right
do you,
now,
just a number, do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is...
Please. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry I keep pausing it, but like, I don't know how he can sit there and let her keep going. Like, she has said a lot of nothing, a whole lot of nothing, which is exactly what she's good for.
Is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions...
I'm not finished. We have an immigration...
What a nasty woman. Cutting him off, bitch. Stop.
Of 6 million people have been released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get to the question, I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And when you came into office, your administration immediately reversed a number of Trump border policies. Most significantly, the policy that required illegal immigrants to be detained through deportation, either in the U.S. or in Mexico. And you switched that policy. They were released from custody awaiting trial. So instead, included in those were a large number of single men, adult men, who went on to commit heinous crimes. So, looking back, do you regret the decision to terminate Remain in Mexico at the beginning of your administration?
At the beginning of our administration, within practically hours of taking the oath, the first bill that we offered Congress, before we worked on infrastructure, before the Inflation Reduction Act, before the Chips and Science Act, before the bipartisan.
Wow, I mean, as you could see, she doesn't directly answer a single question. She has zero specifics, can't point out which border policies are okay, maybe what she would change. Does she regret? Does she think it was a mistake for Biden, her administration, the Biden-Harris administration, to reverse Trump's border policies? Anyways, this next part is probably the most insane part of the interview, and that is the topic of Joe Biden's mental capacity. Will she admit that her boss was obviously senile? Let's see. By the way, comment below, Sleepy Joe, if you're still watching. And for the algorithm, help a girl out.
You call Donald Trump, he's misguided. You say now he's unstable.
He is unstable, Brett.
No, bitch, you are. You're a mentally unstable hoe.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe...
But that was the argument they made back in 2016. Like, oh, he's so unstable. He's unpredictable. If he has the ability to just like nuke people, he will. And guess what? He proved them all wrong. It's actually the establishment presidential administrations that are very pro-war. And guess what? Being unpredictable when it comes to foreign policy is great because your enemies don't know what to expect. We all know that Donald Trump's foreign policy was way better than anything we've seen in a while. So it's just funny. It's funny that they just want to make him seem like an unstable, senile guy because now they're trying to paint him as the new Joe Biden, but it's not working, right?
Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room, and he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions.
I don't even think he could like make the decision to put on a pair of socks by himself. Like, this is comical. She's straight up lying to you, us, we, the American people. Gosh. Comment an American flag emoji.
On behalf of the American people.
There were no concerns raised?
Brett, Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump.
Oh, how easy to deflect, but you're on the ballot, bitch. And will you admit that you were helping to cover up Joe Biden's actual mental capacities? You were lying to the American people. Will you ever be accountable for that? Of course not. She just deflects.
But you talked about it.
And Donald Trump
After George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the same Joe Biden that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
Are we talking about Donald Trump?
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
Look how uncomfortable she's getting. You see the body language? She's like she's trying so hard to skate around the question. And I hope Bret Baier makes her I hope he presses her on it.
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump, which is...
Oh my gosh. I'm going to pull my own hair out of my head.
That's why the people who know him best, including leaders of our national security community, have all spoken out, even people who worked for him.
Guys, that was so frustrating to sit through. How does anyone buy her crap? Seriously, why did Bret Baier not keep pressing her? And that's the truth is Fox News probably wouldn't hate it if Kamala won because they're establishment chills. And that's why I stopped watching them literally the night of the 2020 election. Once I saw that they were calling it for Kamala Harris before even MSNBC was. Oh yeah, you're a bunch of frauds. Let me know. Do you guys still watch Fox News? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? Or are you kind of like an online person now? Because that's how I am. That's definitely the direction of media too. It's independent personalities, which I think is better. We don't need these corporate overlords telling us what we can and cannot say. And then you guys can pick who you guys want to watch. You know what I mean? But it's crazy what Kamala Harris can get to, what's the word? I can't think of the word, can get by on. Saying nothing. And she somehow was able to get through that. And now apparently she's considering going on the Joe Rogan podcast. That would be very interesting, to say the least. We'll see. Imagine if that actually happens. Would be insane. I guess it's good that she's not only going on the Slut Call Her Daddy podcast, because that's pretty embarrassing. So I guess she's branching out for sure and going into enemy's territory, which is not always easy. And obviously they're going to be he was way harder on her than The View was, or MSDNC, or CNN, all those fake news media outlets, obviously. So who knows? Election coming up very soon. Make sure you vote red, of course, and I'll see you guys next time.